Alright guys, welcome to Nodal Wars. This is the table that I got set up this time for the first test game to see how the rules work and how things will go out. So I got a little bit of everything. I got the base boards underneath are actually Games and Gears battle boards, the Drop Zone Commander 10mm set. I got some buildings. I believe these were burn-in designs. Buildings and some bridges. The bridges are definitely burn-in designs. I can't remember if those are GameCraft or where I bought the building. Sorry about that. Drop Zone Commander, they're not officially. These are the Drop Zone Commander ones where you can download them and print them and fold them up yourself. And then just some trees and stuff that I've purchased by myself. And there's a table. It's about, I think it's 42 by 42 or something like that, not sure, but enough to get a good test game in. So as far as the forces on each side, you got one side is going to have two Robotechs, two variable Falcons is what I'm calling them, and there's the other modes, so you can swap them when they transform. You have an Excalibur, a Radar X, and a Gladiator on this side, and then the other side is going to have some CAV units. Got a pair of Kraken fighters, a pair of assassins, and a pair of chieftains. The bases are drying right now, and as soon as I get those done, I'll pull those out and attach them. So to give you an idea, here's a unit card. So has the target rating, how hard a unit is to hit, its armor, speed, the piloting, the gunnery of the unit, how much it costs. This is the hull or the hits. Here's your missiles. So this shoots 5 of whatever this missile type here is in each volley, which you'll see down here. Your volley is 5, ammo 3, 1, 2, 3 spots, and so then you have your range, your damage, and your specials for your weapon. So these have really good range, and they're really good at just blasting right through armor. The missiles have a fixed range. This is I'll talk a little bit about this. This is a variable range for direct fire weapons. Missiles always roll D8. Direct fire uses different dice depending on the range. And so overall it's a pretty good unit. It's not easy to hit, got some decent armor on it. Then you got the Chieftain, tanks to go along with it. They're kind of hard to hit because they're fairly quick, but the armor is not really heavy. They got really good range though, so they're really good at just snipers and just taking pot shots out of their units. They got articulated so they can hide behind things and take pot shots at you and make it really difficult for you to shoot back. Then I got a pair of these Kraken fighters. These are really hard to hit. As you can see, they have a target rating of 10. They're really fast, but the disadvantage of them is that their armor is really weak, 3 at most, 1, and then these are going to be hard to hit, but if they get hit they might just shred into pieces really easily. So let's go real quick. All these cards are 3x5 cards in size. Here's the other force, and they're going to have a regular unit, 16 points, kind of hard to hit, weak armor, but their guns have a good range. They're anti-aircraft. So these are going to be really good at shooting down those fighters, and the Defender that I do have, the Radar X that I do have, is going to be a threat. This right here, they have good range, they have a little bit heavier armor, a little bit easier to hit than the Radar X, but these really have lots of weapons. They can take lots of hits, lots of different missile types. Then you got the Gladiator, and this is harder to hit. It's got heavier armor than the other units. They're a little bit faster, but they don't have as much variety as far as weapons. They're more close in, nasty, tear things up type of units. So then we'll go to the variable fighters, and you'll see that down here, here's their cost. Depending on what mode they are in, they have different target ratings, so it's harder to hit them in fighter mode versus battleoid mode. And they have different speeds. They'll also have different special abilities depending on what mode they're in. And then you have all their weapons. The base range, you have Now you'll notice, and we'll talk about this in a second, that this is a range of 5, but these have a long range. And you're like, well, why is that so short? Well, direct fire weapons, see these right here are missile weapons. So when it says MIS, these are missiles, and missiles and rockets have a fixed range. These, on the other hand, have a variable range. Well, not really a variable range. They just use range differently. These use a D8 no matter what the range is to hit. When you're using the other weapons, we'll get out some dice to kind of illustrate for you. Sorry about that. Give me just a second. Okay. So what you're gonna see here is that there's, what am I missing? That's 6. Okay. There's different types of dice, and as you all know, so what we're gonna have is that a D12 at your range band 1. So if this has a range of 5, then from 1 inches to 5 inches, this guy will use a D12 to hit, so he has a really good chance to hit. At further out, he'll use a D10, which is from 6 to 10 inches, and so on. So use a D8 from 11 to 15 inches. You'll get to use your 6 from your 21 to 25, and then your last range band, your furthest range band. Sorry, this is your 20 to 25. You'll use a D4. So if you're trying to shoot something that has a high target rating, something that's pretty quick, and you're using a D4, you're not very likely to hit. That's why you have a variety of dice. The closer in, the more likely you are to hit, and the better range also gives you a huge advantage. So it's a balance, and so that's why we use a variety of different dice types.